that a rapper from Migos died, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about unique experience. And so I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers, and I know some of you still follow me. I know a bunch of the celebrity blogs still follow me from trying to get news from music videos and things like that. So here's the truth. The truth is this. A bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry is obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people. But they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it. The reality is, I know a lot of you. A lot of you are good people. You're family guys. You're not the image that you put out there to the world. Why? Why don't you be the example? Stand up. I challenge you. Be the example. Make music about the culture you want to see. Don't just get online today and talk about how, whenever a rapper makes it, his own people take him down. Don't just make those videos. Don't be sad. Don't rest in peace. None of that stuff. Be the change you want to see. Inspire it in your community. Reach out to other rappers and say, we have to stop. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. They create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been. The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death, drugs, sex, and money, so that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was. And in doing so, they created a world that also made people more dependent on government, and as a result, gave themselves more power. The record executives that push you to do this, to go and continue to profit off the backs of your work, they're in cahoots with the elite. They're in cahoots with the government. They want you to think you're important, but in truth, you're just doing their dirty work for them, so stop. They've empowered you in ways that are real. You have an audience. You have platforms. You have the ability to make change. So go against the grain together. They're more afraid of you all together standing up and creating a new culture that's built around family, faith, freedom, doing the right thing, valuing life, than they are of anything else. So I challenge you. Use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture? And let me tell you something else. There's a reason the record labels pay us more to do rap videos. They don't tell you that, do they? Do they tell you that they pay us more to do your videos? Because they do. They do it because they know it's more dangerous. They do it because they know it's more difficult, and they do it because, frankly, there's a lot of money laundering involved. Those labels wash a bunch of money through. We don't do it, but we know the labels are doing it 100%. Okay, they're then taking the money off the top end, and you see on your royalty check, oh, they spent $150,000 on this video. Did they? Because we didn't see $150,000. Okay, and to who? Their friend's company? A lot of times that's the case. Same thing with insurance companies. They charge us more to insure your videos. And it's because they know the culture that's been created. They know that the only possibility of a music video being shot up is on a rap video. And that's the truth. So change the culture. You have the power. Your people deserve it. Hey guys,
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And this is why it's important to have complete understanding of the Holy Scriptures, because, as he's speaking, scriptures is coming to mind. And I just want to highlight this particular scripture first, because he spoke on the money aspect of the prosperity in which these devils become, these Edomites become, by charging, insurance companies more to insure particular music videos and things of that effect. And how he spoke upon how, they receive $150,000, but the artist didn't. They don't know where that money went. Right? This is Psalm chapter 73, verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. And they increase in riches off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And the narrative that's being pushed these days is if we call ourselves Hebrew Israelites or Jews, it's anti-Semitic. These are the games that these devils play, with the intent to control the narrative. But, yeah, it's like a dog howling at the moon. It's not causing any change, as far as upholding your kingdom. It's only bringing down your kingdom that much the more, because people are getting hip to your bullshit, so to speak, for lack of better terms, for layman terms, so you can understand, that, and this is why it's important that, you got people running into a burning building when they want to get involved with this whole music industry. The scriptures tell us how the daughters of music, right? The scriptures tell us about the daughters of music. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. I mean, not Sirach. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I'm going to actually start at the top, right? It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. That's when we're supposed to know who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is. Because like the scriptures say, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grow old, he shall not depart from thee, right? It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, because at that point you'll be able to be prepared for it. It says, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And that's what's happening. The keepers of the house, they're trembling. Because why? This truth is out. That's why they got to attempt to do damage control when it comes to truth coming out. They want to attempt to silence folks because they're trembling. They're about to lose their house. It says, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Why? Because they're being threatened. They're being silenced, right? It says, and the grinders ceased, meaning there's going to be no work. The scriptures speak upon how there's no work for Egypt, and what they're doing with the hiking of the interest rates, they pretty much want to decimate the middle class. Out there in Europe, I believe, certain parts of Europe, there's really no middle class. So that's what they want to do here in America. They want to get rid of the middle class and attempt to do it by way of hiking up interest rates. A house that may have cost you, let's say $700,000. The mortgage payment, on average, the mortgage payment would be about $3,000 on a $700,000 house. In today's time, if you buy a house for $450,000, that same mortgage payment is $3,000. So they're even making it hard for you to even purchase assets within a society, right? But this is the way things are leading up to. It says, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. This is the point. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, talking about work, no work. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. The music is brought to a low vibration, right? There's no substance, there's no content when it comes to our music being pushed. Because when you check it out, like the guy was saying in the clip, they promote sex, drugs, and murder, in the music of Israelites, so-called Negroes. That's the music that sells, and of course we know Kanye is a puppet, but and he's being used in this particular scenario. However, to furthermore, attempt to demonize the true prophets. But you know, it's, of course, we understand it's only going to wake up the elect because of the platform that it's on. It's only going to wake up the elect that much the more. And a brother had even made mention, oh, he knows somebody who woke up because Kanye said we are the Hebrew Israelites, right? So that's why, the elect is actually going to dig into the information and see it for themselves, not because Kanye said it. Kanye West could just be used, but now when you start doing the research for yourself, you know, you're persuaded in your own mind. So these are the tactics that the Heavenly Father uses. The deceived and the deceiver are his. The Lord does what he wants, right? But like I said, we're in a time now to where the vibration of the music is at an all-time low, and you see the guy, he could be an Israelite, but when you take it as face value, he's pretty much exposing, how they actually think, how these music executives actually think, what they believe, how they're moving in this particular situation when it comes to the music industry. And Jake bite the bait all the time. Crazy Bone even did an interview when he talks about that meeting in the mansion to where those Edomite executives, the so-called white man, wanted rappers to promote a certain kind of music, to furthermore put our people in prison, and getting killed off the streets, so they can become richer. And I believe he also made mention how they allowed them to have private stock, in the prisons, so they can even get rich off of the same situation, So this is the wiles that this devil does behind the scenes. But what? Everything's coming out. This is Psalm chapter 64, verse 1. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. That's right. And that's why when you live godly, and you strive for righteousness, you will be hid from the insurrection and the workers of iniquity. But if you attempt to run into that burning building, which is the music industry, you signing up for a death note. Of course, this guy Takeoff, this recent rapper, he was a sacrifice. He was a sacrifice. The first video, they had the checkerboard all in the background. The new music video showcases how there was a contract with the Migos and a gun, and an argument over like a gambling game. That was the narrative that they pushed. Oh, they arguing over a dice game. He was a sacrifice that they knew would have to come to pass from the beginning of getting into the music industry. And he was always the one, that looked like I was left off bad and bougie, So, everything is planned, everything is planned, everything's systematic. Just like the Lord requires a sacrifice, however, in righteousness, Satan requires a sacrifice, but the difference is we sacrifice our time. We sacrifice what we want to be. We sacrifice ourselves, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Satan wants you to sacrifice somebody you love. That's the difference. When Yahweh Shai said, I lay my life down. He said, he don't take it. I lay my life down. That's a sacrifice. That's true love for your friends. When you die for your friends, right? So it says, verse 3, who whet their tongue like a sword and even bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. We are the perfect, the Israelites. And they shoot in secret by what? Having these meetings, devising these plans and agendas to keep us suppressed, to keep us down, to attempt to keep us silent. But this truth is already out. Everybody know about the Israelites. Everybody know about so-called Negroes being the true Jews. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune. Salakia, 1 second. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? That's right, because they thought their agendas were always going to be in private. They never thought that they would be seen. They never thought anyone would get hip to their bullshit. So now they got to control narratives by coming up with tactics claiming everything is anti-Shemitic. How are we going to be anti-Shemitic and we Shemitic? That's why even Kyrie, man, it's a whole lot, man. It's a whole lot with these devils, bro. I'm going to get into that with another video, Lord willing. But it says, suddenly they do shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And that's why, these rappers are going to continue to get gunned down, as long as they push that narrative in the music. It's going to keep happening. You reap what you sow. If you sow death, drugs, and sex, that's all you're going to receive. That's all you're going to receive. And the vibration is low. The 808s, the production of it all it's all low vibration. So it has people operating at a low frequency. When you check out R&B, there ain't no R&B like the 90s R&B. And if there is, it's not mainstream. You can't find it on your top 10 plays of R&B. If any songs that are on the top 10 plays of R&B, it's going to talk about how much the woman hates the man, and things like that. And, but back in the day, you had women, crying and begging for their man, and how much he hurt her, You're not seeing that nowadays. You're not seeing that, right? It says, but God shall shoot at him with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded. And that's by way of truth, because his truth is out. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And that's what happened. This guy looks like an Edomite, could be a Jake. But when the scripture says, so that they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, that's white people telling on white people. That's people who are a part of the agenda, getting fed up with the agenda, exposing the agenda. They're telling on themselves, and that's to what furthermore edify, the scriptures. That furthermore allows us to be that much more true. We live in a time of truth to where everything is coming out. Everything's coming out. So and this is beautiful. We living in exciting times. We living in exciting times, and it's popping off, man. These things is popping off. It's exciting through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. May he keep us protected. You know what I'm saying? May he keep us grounded. May he keep us diligent despite all the hells and tribulations in which we got to go through, to prove ourselves, to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. With that, I like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Akakwadash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.